come to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse in the back half of the season. But this is a Mayville State team that really has it going on tonight. 14-4 overall. They're 6-1 in the league. They're tied, as we mentioned, for first place in the North Star Athletic Association at this point. And they are just a very solid team. And in a game they played against Valley City State back on Saturday afternoon, it was close early, but they just slowly pulled away in that opening half, took a 20-point lead, ended up leading by as many as 35. And so the Viking women definitely have their work cut out for them tonight against one of the premier players in the North Star Athletic Association. That's Jordan Zrust, who will start tonight, a senior from Buffalo, Minnesota, who averages 18.4 points and 10.9 rebounds per game. And so the Vikings definitely have a challenge. Also for Valley City State, one of the issues is they'll have another new starting lineup tonight. And visiting just before the game with Vanessa Johnson, the head coach of the Viking women, she says right now it's whoever has fire. She says this week was an eye-opening situation between her and her players. We don't know exactly what was said. She just described it as eye-opening, and she's trying to put a little passion in her team, which she feels is lacking right now. No better way to do that than to play one of the teams that's tied for first place in the league. On the men's side of things, the Comet team that rolls in here tonight is perfect in the league at 7-0. They are 17-3 overall. Clearly the top team right now as far as overall record. They're a game ahead of a Turbo at the halfway point, and the Vikings need a couple of wins to try to get into that top half. They currently trail Dickinson State by a game for that fourth place spot. They trail Bellevue by that same margin, one game out, and they're going to have Bellevue here, but they'll have Dickinson State on the road in the back half of the season. If they're looking for a home game, they're going to have to perhaps win a game that they're not supposed to, and that might be one of these. But the Viking men had Mayville State in a bad spot back on Saturday afternoon. Valley City State led by 10 in the opening minutes of the second half, and wouldn't say they had control of the game, but they had certainly come out to a point where they were in position to take control of the game, and then some things just evaporated for the Vikings. And in the second half of that game, Mayville State pulled away, ended up winning the matchup by 10. It was close down the stretch. A couple of foul shots got away from the Vikings late, but this is a team that the Vikings feel like they can play with, and now they're coming to Valley City State, and the Vikings are looking to reverse that loss from this past weekend. That sets the table for you. Coming up, we'll take a look at Drive for the Title in our pregame report, brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City. We'll run down the entire conference standings picture and what that looks like going into the evening. Take a look at the schedule for tonight as well, and also a look at a new top 25 NAIA women's basketball poll. We got some news and notes as well, including some exciting news about NAIA football and the expansion of their playoff field that we were told about yesterday, so we'll give you some details on that. Starting lineups in basketball on the way, scheduled for a 5:30 tip-off tonight here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse on campus of Valley City State, where the Vikings host Mayville State in a conference doubleheader this evening, with the women coming up first. And we'll continue our pregame report in just a couple of moments. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
You don't want to fumble it away with these two events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops. For the big game, Valentine's Day, or anytime, remember Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places, whether it's from your friend or a memory. Embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
We're at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse on campus of Valley City State University tonight for Viking basketball. Mayville State, the rival, just 75 miles away. Always a good time when they get together on a weeknight with the students in town, hopefully. And tonight that'll happen. The Vikings take on the Comets this evening in a doubleheader here on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, your voice for Viking basketball. And our pregame report tonight is presented by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all and here for good. Let's take a look at Drive for the Title presented by Sanford Health. We'll start with the standings that we have currently in the North Star Athletic Association. We mentioned that coming into the night, Mayville State, Dakota State, and Bellevue are 2 games ahead of Valley City State in the league standings for first place. They're 6-1. All 3 are 6-1. Overall, the Comets are 14-4. Dakota State 16-5. And Bellevue is currently 12-8. Now the Vikings are in an interesting spot. They're trying to push for first place, but they're 2 games back. There are teams pushing them for 4th place, but they're 2 games back or more. Valley City State's 4-3. Dickinson State, Viterbo, Waldorf, all 2-5. The Vikings have beaten all 3 of those teams, along with Presentation, who is 0-7 right now as far as the league is concerned. Tonight's schedule looks like this in women's basketball. Waldorf will go to Dakota State. Presentation will take on Dickinson State. Viterbo plays at Bellevue. And tonight, of course, here at the Louis Lee, Mayville State will play against Valley City State. As far as our rankings are concerned, new poll out in NAIA women's basketball. Top team in the league, or in the nation, I should say, continues to be Thomas More of Kentucky. A unanimous 21-vote getter for the top spot. Central Methodist Missouri is second. Campbellsville, Kentucky is third. Dort, Iowa, highest ranked team from around our area. They're out of the Great Plains Athletic Conference. They're currently ranked 4th. Westmont, California is 5th. Marion, Indiana, Indiana Wesleyan, Clark, Iowa, Lewis and Clark State of Idaho, and Loyola, Louisiana round out the top 10. As far as notables from around our area, Carroll, Montana is currently 11th in that poll. Briar Cliff, Iowa is currently 18th. Northwestern Iowa is currently 20th. Rocky Mountain of Montana is currently 22nd. And as far as teams that are getting votes in the poll, the University of Jamestown and Dakota State. Dakota State is the highest mentioned team in the North Star Athletic Association. They received some votes. They would have been down, it looks like, around 29th or so if the poll extended out to that. Jamestown is just a little bit back of that. Grandview, Iowa is in there getting some votes as well. So again, the top-ranked team in the league is Dakota State. It's interesting that Mayville State is not receiving votes. It must be the overall record that coaches key on rather than where you're at as far as performance is concerned. Dakota State's got 16 wins. Mayville State has 14 wins, but for whatever reason, the tip of the hand goes to Dakota State, and why not? When they're at their peak, they are a very, very tough basketball team to play down in Madison. They've got a lot of physical advantages with the way that they can play the game that other teams don't. And so there's enough of a sample size there to where the coaches believe there's a bit of a nudge that separates Dakota State and those other 2 teams that we're chasing. But the fact of the matter is the Vikings are chasing those 3 teams. They got to try and catch one if they're going to move up in the standings and also give themselves a little breathing room to stay in that number 4 position. That's Drive for the Title tonight. It's brought to you in our pregame report, brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all and here for good. Coming into the night, top performers, Mayville State's Jordan's Rust, averaging a double-double, 18.4 points and 10.9 rebounds. Also averaging in double figures, Aaron Walker, 12.4 points. She just torched the Vikings in that game on Saturday. Mackenzie Hughes at 11.2. And Jess Mertens, who we know pretty well in Valley City, the transfer from Crookston, but a former Devils Lake Firebird, 10.4 points per game. For the Vikings coming into the night, Taryn Dieterle at 10.4 and Ashlyn Diemert at 10.3. Currently leading the Vikings. Ashlyn Diemert's having a great second half of the season. J.C. Richter, despite not playing about the first month of the season, currently 7.7 points per game off the bench, the 3rd leading scorer. And we see into that rotation, Adriana Torres averaging 7.6 points and 5 rebounds a contest. Those are the top performers coming into the night. We're going to take a pause on our pregame report for our national anthem. When we come back, we'll set our starting lineups for you. Our pregame report is brought to you tonight by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all, here for good. It's the Vikings and Mayville State from the we were there on Saturday from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. This is Viking basketball, the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Did you know that January is National Bath Safety Month? Here are some ways to stay safe in your bathroom from Smith Lumber Home Center. Install non-slip mats in the bath. Add safety handles. Add lights. Install a step in the tub. Add ADA accessories. Child-proof the bathroom, or maybe it's a new toilet. And Smith Lumber Home Center has all kinds of toilets, including soft close and bidet seats. Keep your home safe with Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is here to serve your healthcare needs. During the month of January, take 10% off all Health Mart and Sunmark products. The flu and cold season has hit us hard. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City, where they know you by name. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Why choose professional eye care centers? Let's count the whys. First, there are now 4 great doctors to see: Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, Dr. Jangula, and now welcoming Dr. Bond. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, and Edgeley. And finally, their fantastic frame selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse on campus of Valley City State University. Tonight, Viking basketball here on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC, as the Vikings step up to take on the top-ranked team in the league, or I should say rather tied for that top spot in the league, Mayville State University. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's matchup. They're brought to you by CHI Mercy Health Valley City. Hello, Human Kindness. For Mayville State this evening, the guards will be C.J. Decker, a 5'5 junior from Howard Lake, Minnesota. Aaron Walker, a 5'11 senior from Beulah, North Dakota. Mackenzie Hughes, a 5'6 sophomore out of Thompson, North Dakota. And Jess Mertens, a 5'9 junior from Devils Lake, North Dakota, a transfer from the University of Minnesota Crookston. And tonight playing at the forward spot will be Jordan Rust, a 6-foot senior from Buffalo, Minnesota. Dennis Hutter is the head coach of Mayville State. He's been there for 17 seasons as the head coach of the Comets. For the Vikings this evening, another change in the starting lineup tonight. The guards are Haley Roberts, a 5'6 junior from Minot, North Dakota, and Allie Critchley, a 5'6 senior from Dilworth, Minnesota. Also at guard, Ashlyn Deemer, a 5'9 sophomore from West Fargo, North Dakota. Also at guard tonight, Emma Nielsen, a 5'5 senior from Barnesville, Minnesota. Adriana Torres will play at a forward spot tonight, a 5'10 senior from Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. Vanessa Johnson in her 6th season as the head coach of Valley City State University. the Vikings have been changing their starting lineups recently on the women's side. It's been sort of a flow to what Vanessa described to us before the game is whoever has passion for the game, and that's really what she's looking for out of her team right now. She may feel like the team has become somewhat complacent, and Ashlyn Diemert hadn't necessarily been a regular in the starting lineup first half, but she has made every bit of an opportunity to do something really solid in the second half and is now scoring in double figures for the Vikings. She's had some tremendous games as of late. And, when you take a look at this starting lineup, you see Taryn Dieterle, who's been a regular starter for Valley City State, a 6-footer, not in the starting lineup tonight. This is an interesting team to go small against, and the Vikings are going to choose to do that tonight. Adriana Torres versus Jordan's Rust for the jump, and the Comets will control it in their traveling cobalt blue uniforms tonight with the white and the gray accents. Jess Mertens taking a handoff to Jordan's Rust and Mackenzie Hughes. Now Aaron Walker on the top of the key controls the left elbow for Mertens, who steps back, threw the ball away. Adriana Torres took away an errant pass. It goes loose, and it's won by Allie Critchley, and the Vikings are into the front court for their first possession. Emma Nielsen left corner working in, kicking out to Haley Roberts on the wing. Deep three on the way. That one's short. Rebound underneath. Jordan's Rust comes in. Again, averaging a double-double for Mayville State. She'll be a big rebounder tonight, along with scorer for the Comets. Rust drives in, back to the basket on Diemert, turns to her left hand, misses short, and Diemert comes up with a board for the Vikings. Played just about a minute, no score as of yet. The Vikings into the front court with Emma Nielsen taking the transition throw. A look in, hard take to the basket by Allie Critchley. That ends up strong off the front of the rim. Another rebound for Jordan's Rush. She's got a pair. Comets back into the front court with a basketball, and Jess Mertens coast to coast to the baseline. Turns it back to Jordan's Rust, left corner, spinning her way in, back to her right hand, fouled, and she'll go to the foul line to get her night started. A minute and 2 seconds in. Emma Nielsen, who got stuck with her on a switch, will be called for the foul. Emma Nielsen's first, and again, this is a team in Mayville State where if you go big, you have a chance at an advantage inside. Mayville State doesn't have a premier post player either, but the Vikings chose to go small against this team tonight. Mackenzie Hughes reversing. Aaron Walker right side three. She's fouled. Closing out on the potential rebound was Adriana Torres and knocked Walker into the Viking bench. Adriana Torres will be called for her first, and that's going to put Mayville State on the foul line. So there were no foul shots. It looked like that would be a shot on the or rather a foul on the shot on that earlier foul by Emma Nielsen, but they ruled that on the floor. This one was on the shot, and so we'll see Aaron Walker, an 83.3% foul shooter, go to the line, and she completes on the front end. 1-0 in favor of the Comets. A minute and 8 seconds into our opening quarter. Walker's second foul shot is short. She gets one more. Hitting the act of taking a three-point shot. The first good. The second is not, and this will break it 2 out of 3. It's on the way. That one is good. She'll make 2 out of 3, and the Comets take a 2-0 lead on the Vikings early. Now, this was a sluggish start on Saturday in Mayville as well before Mayville State found their rhythm. See if the Vikings take advantage. Haley Roberts getting inside, trying a reverse layup. It was knocked away. She comes up with her own miss and brings it back out in the perimeter. The shot did not draw iron. 15 to shoot. Torres from the foul line, pulling up in a mid-range jumper. She has the first field goal today, and the Vikings have tied the game at 2 apiece. Mackenzie Hughes to Jess Mertens, moving into the front court. Mertens driving hard to the basket, pulls up, missed it strong. Rebound comes down with Allie Critchley for Valley City State on the far side of the floor. Mertens comes up to apply some pressure. Critchley gets away on a crossover dribble, but still hemmed off right in the middle of the floor. A stop and a look. Diemert looking high-low with Torres. That ball's out of bounds. Torres got tied up inside with C.J. Decker, and then as Torres was walking away, she put a knee inadvertently into the right side of Decker's face, and C.J. Decker looks a little frustrated as she steps beyond the baseline to play the ball in for the Comets. We're tied at 2 minutes into the opening quarter. Mayville State front court. Decker back to the basket on top of the key, handing to Mertens on a flex from left to right. Mertens into the right corner for Walker. Zrust posts up inside on Diemert, stepping left. Double pivot, back to the right. Now another kick out off a triple pivot. Walker driving in, pulling up off the glass, will score. The Vikings wanted a traveling violation on the pivoting by Zrust, or maybe a 3-second call. Got neither, and the Comets lead by a score of 4-2. Vikings into the front court. Roberts on the right side. Top of the key for Critchley. They look high-low, Diemert and Torres. Instead, it's Diemert from the left elbow. Sinks another jump shot. It's been a great second half of the season for Ashlyn Diemert. She scores her first 2 tonight. And that'll tie the game at 4 on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Decker trying to jump through some pressure on the perimeter. and she'll pick up the third foul tonight against Valley City State. Emma Nielsen with 2. Emma Pesa will step on for the Comets. First minutes tonight off the bench for the Comets, a 5'10 junior forward out of Velva, North Dakota. Pesa averaging 3.5 points per game and comes in off the bench. Inbounds pass from Jess Mertens, right corner finding C.J. Decker, a stop back to Mertens. They look down low, Pesa trying to post up against Torres. Kick out, Mertens for 3, rims in and out. The rebound to Torres uncontested for the Vikings on the floor. 4 apiece as Valley City State's back into the front court. Torres down low to Deemert, posting up on Pesa, turns to her right hand and tried to play it out to the perimeter. Jordan's Russ got a foot into it. That'll stop the clock with an even 7 minutes to play of the opening quarter. And Kate Johnson comes on the floor for the first time for the Vikings, a 5'6 sophomore from Perham, Minnesota. She'll take her spot in for Emma Nielsen, who just picked up that second foul. Torres, foul line, jump shot, good again. Adriana Torres has hit a couple from that range. The Vikings could use a big game from Adriana Torres, who was all conference a year ago. 6'4", Valley City State with their first lead tonight. They lead by 2. Mertens stepping out towards the top of the key, circling towards the left corner, sets a screen to free up Jordan's Rust, who will bring it back to the top of the key. Pesa to Hughes in the right corner, off the step back and seal. Hughes for 3, connects, and the lead swings back to Mayville State. Great play, Pesa coming near side, set the seal after distributing and kept Hughes from being closed upon, and a high-low play from Critchley to Torres, slings out of bounds. The Vikings turned it over, and the ball will go back to Mayville State. Deemert will step off for the Vikings, and we'll see Taryn Dieterle, 6-foot senior from Valley City, North Dakota, leading scorer for the Vikings coming in for the first time tonight. She'll make it into the 3.5 minutes gone by mark. Mayville State leading by 1. Following the 3 from Mackenzie Hughes, a score of 7-6, and the Comets are back in the front court. Decker left sideline, working back to the top of the key, comes to a stop, looks left side, nobody home. The ball angles out to the perimeter. Emma Pesa is able to run it down. Mertens set for 3. That one on the way and off the heel. Took a while to get that one up. The Vikings were able to challenge it, and Taryn Dieterle comes down with a rebound for Valley City State. Dieterle back to the basket, kick out. Roberts, right corner, 3-point shot, good. Give the lead back to the Vikings. Roberts on the right side, draining a 3. Valley City State will take a 9-7 lead, a little better than 4 minutes into the contest. Mertens circling out to the top, got bumped by Critchley. Mertens crossover dribble, kicking left corner to Jordan's Rust. She'll flex her way into the lane, a kick out. Mertens is left alone for 3. That one trickles off the front of the rim, and Taryn Dieterle grabs the rebound. There's been very little pressure on the glass offensively from Mayville State tonight. They've been more concerned about getting back defensively after missed shots. Ball right side, Roberts for the Vikings. They lead 9-7. To the corner, Dieterle, mid-range jump shot along the baseline. Missed, and Emma Pesa comes down with the board. She'll outlet to C.J. Decker. Decker flexes into the front court. A kick to the left side. Mertens will take a look, drives back towards the right elbow, turns it back to Emma Pesa. Pesa coming back to the near side for Jordan's Rust. Rust back to the far side of the floor for Mackenzie Hughes. Now on top, Jess Mertens with the basketball. 3 on the way for Mertens, comes up no good. She's had a cold start to the night tonight, and the ball will go back to Valley City State. Allie Critchley, left side, goes down low to Taryn Dieterle in the right block. A kick out. Johnson ball faking to Torres on the top of the key. Jump stop in the lane. Couple of pivots, looking in some trouble. Back to Johnson. 3 on the way. That's off the heel. Rebound slapped loose, and a foul coming up. That'll be the 4th of the quarter against Valley City State, and the 2nd against Adriana Torres. The 4th against the Vikings, which means Mayville State will shoot the penalty for the remainder of the quarter. Erin Walker will come back into the matchup, and the Comets will send in Greta Helika, a 5'7 freshman from Perham, Minnesota. Valley City State makes a change. Madison Wilhelmy will come in at a guard position, replacing Torres. Wilhelmy, a 5'5 freshman from Beach, North Dakota. 9-7 Vikings by 2. A 3 by Mackenzie Hughes. In and out, won't fall. Kate Johnson the board. Valley City State comes away with the basketball. A little better than 5.5 in to this opening quarter. Stopped by Roberts. Kick out right side. Katie Johnson on a cross-court pass to Roberts on the top of the key. Stepping in, she's left alone. From 10, the mid-range jumper off the run. Haley Roberts has got 5. Nice start to the night for Haley Roberts, and the Vikings will take a 4-point lead at 11-7 here in the opening quarter. Hughes to Walker, ball faking and moving, kicking to the perimeter, broken up, but sealed by Helika, who will turn it back towards the left for Jeff Mertens. A stop, a kick out, head fake by Walker, driving in the lane, stops, turn, fall away. Erin Walker will score. 6 of the first 9 points for the Comets go to Erin Walker, and she had a field day against the Vikings on Saturday at the Louis Lee. The lead cut to 2 and now a throwaway as Haley Roberts tried to kick it in. It's deflected. Mertens will take one from Hughes and draw a foul. Jess Mertens is on her way to the foul line, and Haley Roberts looks to have committed the harm. Roberts first, team foul number 5 against the Vikings. In that matchup on Saturday, Erin Walker had 21, but that didn't tell the story. She had 16 at halftime and hit 6 threes before the first couple of minutes of the third quarter had gone by. She was a thorn in the Viking side, to say the least. First foul shot is good for Jess Mertens, and the Viking lead is cut to 1. This will tie the game as Jess Mertens knocks down the back end. 4 of 5 from the foul line, for Mayville State tonight. And the Comets will make a change. Another substitution, Kayla Rockel will step onto the floor. 5'8" junior out of Underwood, Minnesota. She comes on for her first minutes tonight. Wilhelmy brings the ball up front for the Vikings. We're tied, a score of 11 apiece. J.C. Richter has stepped in for Valley City State, the volleyball and basketball player. Into the corner, Diemert, reversal to Johnson on the wing. Shot clock approaching 10. Richter, jab stepping left, turns back to Johnson. Diemert in the post, banging away down low against Walker. Put up the shot, had it blocked. There's a foul on the rebound, and that's going to put Mayville State on the foul line as we saw an effort to get inside for Ashlyn Diemert to follow her shot. She ran into a Comet. That's going to be called a foul, and Vanessa Johnson's not happy. The first 6 whistles of the night have gone against the Vikings, and not a single miscue by Mayville State, at least to this point. We mentioned J.C. Richter, 5'6" freshman out of Linton, North Dakota, into the matchup for the Vikings. First foul shot for Zrust is good, and the lead will swing back to the Comets. Score of 12-11. Meredith Dumas is set to check in for the Vikings coming up. Second foul shot on the way for Zrust is also good, and that should swing the lead to 13-11 in favor of Mayville State. We haven't seen the points go up on the board yet. There they go. And now we will see the entry of Meredith Dumas, a regular starter, 5'10" senior out of Grafton, North Dakota. She comes on for the first time. 2-point lead for the Comets. Vikings with it. Diemert driving baseline. Found a path underneath. Turns it out. Wilhelmy head fake. Draws a defender. Pulls up from 15. Misses that mid-range jump shot. Kayla Rockel comes down with a rebound. Reaching behind her for Mayville State. Comets back into the front court. Rockel kick out. Zrust a head fake. Draws. Dieterle drives in from 6. The teardrop rolls in. Nice little take to the basket that time for Jordan Zrust. 4 points for Zrust on the night, along with a couple of early rebounds. And now a foul coming up against Meredith Dumas as she got tied up inside with pressure away from the basketball with Erin Walker. And Dumas will be called for her first. And right now, Vanessa Johnson is beside herself. The head coach of the Vikings is struggling to figure out why 6 fouls have been called against the Vikings, and so far Mayville State hasn't seen a thing. Right now, Vanessa Johnson talking with Ashlyn Diemert to get an explanation from the floor, but the Comets are into the front court leading by 4 and with a heck of an advantage on the foul side of things. Ball to the left side of the floor, taken by Rockel to Hughes in the baseline, driving to the basket, she'll score. Mackenzie Hughes with 5, and that's going to prompt a timeout by the Vikings as the Comets have gone on a 10-0 run to take a 17-11 lead with 2:27 left in the opening quarter on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Don't leave your wiring to chance. Plug into your number 1 electrical source, Highline Electric. They're the experts in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. No cutting corners at Highline Electric. Call 845-0731. They'll give you a free estimate before any work is done. Family owned since 1986 with Chad and Tracy Zahn. And I promise, the price won't shock you. Highline Electric in Valley City. Call 845-0731. Building a reputation of integrity and quality.
10-0 run for Mayville State has given the Comets a 17-11 lead as we get restarted with 2:20 to play in the opening quarter. Viking basketball tonight. Ashlyn Diemert, a 3 from the top of the key. That will cut that lead in half. Ashlyn Diemert continues to perform in the second half of the season. 5 for Diemert now and a couple of field goals in the opening quarter. And the Vikings are back within 3 at 17-14. Mackenzie Hughes driving left. Stop and go dribble. Got her way inside. Kicks it out towards the right corner. 3 on the way from Rockel. Comes up off the heel of the rim. And a loose ball rebound to Meredith Dumas for the Vikings. Valley City State's back up front. Wilhelmia stopped. Nearly traveled and Rockel took the ball away. She's 2-on-2 up the floor with Zrust. And getting back was Diemert to knock that ball out of bounds. It will stay Comet basketball in the front court. Roberts will return for the Vikings, replacing Wilhelmy. Zrust and Decker will return for Mayville State. And the Comets will inbound in the front court with 1:47 to play. And Cale Hamry, one of our 3 officials tonight, seemed to have a bit of a conversation with Haley Roberts there. A look inside, Zrust faking, turning on Diemert, missing off the glass. Rebound, Taryn Dieterle. They've been trying to post up on Diemert tonight, and Ashlyn Diemert's done a nice job of holding her spot for the Vikings in there and not giving up the easy buckets. She's defended well, closed out well, blocked out well. Dieterle, long jump shot from the top, missing. Jess Mertens comes up with a rebound for the Comets, and the Comets are back into the front court, down numbers. Mertens will drive to the baseline, then circles out towards the right corner and comes back on the wing, sends it back to Zrust in the right corner. She'll drive on Dieterle, got inside, pulls up with a lefty layup that was awkward down the right side of the glass. Zrust using the left hand to get through the double team and scores her 6th. And the lead is back to 5 for the Comets at 19-14. Final minute of play in the opening quarter of basketball. Richter stop and go, got inside from 8 feet. Count it, and one, J.C. Richter. The young lady out of Linton, North Dakota, the former Linton Hazelden Moffett Braddock Lion, who came and steered the ship for the Vikings defensively in the volleyball season as the libero on that Viking volleyball team and did not join the basketball team till November. She comes in tonight, the 3rd leading scorer for the Vikings, and at one time was the 2nd leading scorer. She's got a chance at a 3-point play as the foul will go against Aaron Walker, and the bonus foul shot is good for J.C. Richter. 3-point play for Richter, and the lead is cut to 2. It's 19-17. The Vikings within 2 of Mayville State with a final minute of the opening quarter rolling away. Walker looking left side, Zrust off to the top of the key. New Comet in the game is Sydney Brecken, a 6-foot junior out of Hillsboro, North Dakota. Mertens kicking out, Zrust all day in a 3 from the right corner. It springs off strong. Mertens trying to chase down the rebound on the back of a Viking. They won't get the whistle. Now they're going to get a reach-in call against Jess Mertens, and Mertens argues the call. But the Vikings trying to find a couple of calls to even things up tonight. Be Mertens first, and the 2nd team foul against Mayville State. The Vikings will have it with 34.4 seconds to play and 28 on the shot clock. So about a 6.5-second differential. Ball up front, Haley Roberts giving back to Allie Critchley, who will circle top of the key. Dieterle looking corner, back to Critchley, ball faking, coming back to the left to stop a look. Richter flexing over towards the right side. She'll head out to the corner, shot clock at 10 seconds. Bounce pass into Dumas. She'll pull up from 10 feet, left it short. Rebound Aaron Walker. There's 10 seconds left for the Comets to work with a 2-point lead. C.J. Decker left side, 5 seconds left to go. Decker moving back towards the right with a dribble, gets inside. Roberts and Critchley tried to pick her pocket. Nice defensive play by Allie Critchley, reaching in over the front to knock that ball away from Decker, and that denies a Mayville State opportunity, and that'll take us to the end of the opening quarter. 19-17 Comets on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard at the end of a frame here tonight at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse at Valley City State. Good one going on after 1. Stay with us as the second quarter comes back after a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's orthopedic and sports medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
We go to the second quarter of basketball following a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. After 1, it's 19-17 Comets on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Viking basketball tonight, 2-point game from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse here at Valley City State. Vikings with the basketball. Allie Critchley hoists up a 3 and hits it from the top of the key. And that will get the second quarter started with some gusto for the Vikings and give Valley City State the lead here in the second, 20-19 1 point lead in favor of Valley City State. Walker, right corner to Rust, stepping in. Hit by a double team, sends it back to Walker. 3 on the way, that's off. Rebound comes out to the perimeter strong. It's taken back by Mackenzie Hughes. Mertens to Walker on the top of the key, stepping right. Good crossover dribble inside on Critchley, then spins back to the right, but misses a fall away layup inside. The ball goes back to the Vikings on the rebound for Allie Critchley. They look down low in the high-low game. Dieterle got loose and scores with a left-handed side. First 2 for Taryn Dieterle. Lead for the Vikings back up to 3 at 22-19. Comets back into the front court. Decker looking top of the key as Hughes flies in. This works back to the left wing for Rust. A stop-and-go dribble kicking out right corner. Decker's left alone for 3. That one's also strong. Critchley trying to block out against Rust and did a nice job of doing so. Lost her balance in the process on a physical block out, but still secures the rebound. And Valley City State's back into the front court with the basketball, leading by 3. On top, Roberts working right side. Richter takes a look down low, trying to find Deemer at the post. Instead, herself off the glass. Little kiss for J.C. Richter. 7-0 run to start the second quarter, and the Vikings lead by 5. Timeout, Mayville State. It's a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. On the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, Vikings 24, Comets 19, and this is Viking basketball.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
First quarter numbers in this one tonight. You could see where Mayville State's struggling. 1 of 8 from the three-point line, shooting 12.5% from beyond the arc. They shoot 37.5% from the opening field, or from the field in the opening quarter. The Vikings 43.8%, and right now the Vikings are on a 7-0 run to start the second quarter. They lead by 5. A backdoor cut for Mackenzie Hughes and a kick out. Jess Mertens left alone for 3. That one also short. Mertens has had a really tough night shooting the basketball, and the Vikings are back in the front court. They look to take a 3-possession lead. It would be the biggest of the night, and Jess Mertens with a blocking foul out on the perimeter, her second. It was tight against the Vikings early. Now it's tightening up against the Comets, and it doesn't look like Mayville State's all that happy about it. Mertens will come out after a second foul. She's talking to herself on the way off the floor, and Greta Halika will come back into the matchup for Mayville State. Vikings by 5 with the basketball. Diemert taking a pass inside, looking to go across the paint. Taryn Dieterle takes it, finds Diemert driving back to the basket, ends up losing the dribble, and we're going to see a 3-second call coming up against Taryn Dieterle. That'll send the ball back to the Comets. In that first half of basketball, Jess Mertens was 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 4 from the three-point line, and she's missed another one here. So definitely shots that she's used to making, and the baskets have not been kind to her tonight in the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, and it's caused the Comets a little bit of problem in their momentum offensively. On top, Halika looking right side. Mackenzie Hughes goes down to Emma Pesa, trying to post up on Dieterle, looking for an angle. We got a 3-second call the other way. You know, basketball is a funny game. You can go an entire season at times and not see a 3-second call, and then every once in a while they'll start popping up just like dandelions in the springtime, and Dennis Hutter was arguing that with Cale Hamry as well, but nonetheless, the Vikings get it back on a turnover. Diemert inside, ball faking, spinning to her right hand, counted and one on a high arcing layup. Diemert goes to the scoop, high off the glass, gets that shot to come through, and will go to the foul line. Diemert with 7 makes it a 26-19 Viking lead. Dennis Hutter, the head coach of the Comets, still arguing the 3-second call with Cale Hamry across the floor right now with an official standing next to him. And here's Ashlyn Diemert looking to complete the three-point play. She cannot, but an offensive rebound for J.C. Richter gives the Vikings another opportunity at the basket. Wilhelmy bounce pass, Diemert into Dieterle, high-low, blocked by Jordan's Rust. This will stay Viking basketball. Diemert with 7 to lead the way. 6 apiece for Jordan's Rust and Aaron Walker, leading the way for Mayville State at the end of the opening quarter. And the Comets have not yet scored through 2 minutes and 41 seconds of this second quarter of play. J.C. Richter, head fake driving, pulling up from 10 feet. Mid-range jumpers down again for J.C. Richter. She has 7. 28-19, the Vikings turn that essentially into a 4-point play. The bucket by Diemert, the missed foul shot in the O board turns into another chance and J.C. Richter comes up with a field goal. Zrust inside, double pivot, right hand, got to the glass and scores. She's so smooth, making her way into the lane. Jordan Zrust, very athletic, can hit from the outside, but gets to the glass very easily. It cuts the Viking lead to 7 at 28-21. Wilhelmy on top, back out top the key for Haley Roberts. A step left off the left-hand dribble, pull up from the foul line that's missed, and Zrust comes down with a board for Mayville State. Boy, the Vikings have really been trying to exploit the middle of that Mayville State defense tonight. They've gone to the elbow with that mid-range jumper over and over again. Hughes, a scoop layup inside, looking for her own rebound, got thrown to the floor by Haley Roberts, and that'll be a foul against Haley Roberts. Roberts second. One of the things you notice about Haley Roberts is that she kind of plays the game with a chip on her shoulder. She'll throw some arms and throw some bodies, and that's somewhat new to a lot of players that will play against her. Transfer out of Minot State. Inbounds pass will come in from C.J. Decker. Couple of ball fakes, and Decker lobs it out for Hughes in the top of the key. Hughes, a hard take at her, and comes up with a layup. Now, that's the thing about Mackenzie Hughes. She's not going to wilt when you get a little physical play into her. She tends to come back with a very spirited response, and she did just that. The Viking lead cut to 5 at 28-23 on Mackenzie Hughes, scoring her 7th tonight. On the right side, Haley Roberts for the Vikings from 15. Little high arcing teardrop inside. Roberts has 7. Lead back to 7 at 30-23. We played 4 minutes of the second quarter of basketball. Emma Pesa working right for Mayville State. Backdoor cut Zrust. She's got it to the glass and she misses. Got her own miss. Turnaround second effort won't fall. This time Diemert blocked her out and J.C. Richter runs down the loose basketball for the board. Vikings back up front, looking to go up 9, possibly 10. Diemert from the elbow, pop jumper, rolls off, no good. Ariana Torres back in the game, had an angle on the rebound, but Jordan Zrust has a big night rebounding the basketball. She comes up with another. Comets back up front, Hughes hard take, left side to the glass, scores it, and that's 9 for Mackenzie Hughes. Sophomore out of Thompson, North Dakota. Had a chance to watch her play all throughout high school, and she is a good one. And the Vikings have their lead again, trimmed to 5 at 30-25. Torres inside, one-on-one with Pesa. Scoop fall away. Look at that for Adriana Torres. Over the front of the rim without the glass. Torres has got 6. Scooping it with the right hand and falling away in the same motion. And the Vikings lead by 7 at 32-25. Aaron Walker stepping left, kicking out right corner. Decker a head fake, flexes into the lane, goes to the glass, was fouled by Madison Wilhelmy from behind. Wilhelmy's first. It'll put Decker on the foul line as the Vikings get set to make some changes. That'll be the first foul, rather second, against the Vikings here in the second quarter. Allie Critchley, Taryn Dieterle, and Katie Johnson will come back into the matchup. Ashlyn Diemert, Madison Wilhelmy, and Haley Roberts will step off. And we'll see C.J. Decker going to the foul line. The lead 7 for Valley City State halfway through this second quarter of basketball. It's been a rather strong offensive first half for the Vikings. First foul shot is good for C.J. Decker. That is her opener. Decker's an 82.9% foul shooter. There are no kinks in the armor from the foul line for Mayville State. Their starters 82-9, 83-3, 74-1, 73-2, 73-9. They shoot it well from the line. Decker second barely moves the net as it goes through. And the Viking lead cut to 5, 32-27 with 4:55 to play until halftime. Critchley, right side, Katie Johnson. In the corner, Dieterle, who will reverse it back to Johnson, and now back out to the top for J.C. Richter. Johnson looking down low, foul coming over the post. Emma Pesa, a little extra body in on Taryn Dieterle from behind, and Emma Pesa will pick up the foul. First on Pesa, the 4th against the Comets. Jess Mertens, tough shooting night, will come back into the matchup. Pesa will sit down. And we'll see Allie Critchley inbounding the basketball for the Vikings. 4 corners for Valley City State. Critchley looking, loading up, right side. Torres bluffs on the mid-range jump shot. Comes into Dieterle, back down to Torres. Cut to the glass, and Torres will score. Little modified high-low look. Dieterle coming out high, and Torres will finish for her 8th. The Vikings lead by 7 at 34-27. Walker head flake, stepping right. Kicks it away to the right for Jordan Zrust. Crossovers, Zrust ranging into the lane. Down low, Hughes in the post, rejected. Torres came over and closed in upon it. Loose ball to Katie Johnson. Vikings looking to go up 9. Whistle, backcourt violation coming up against Critchley. Critchley came up to the time stripe and sort of went back and forth, and I think she had done enough to keep her feet sort of on both sides of the line simultaneously, but the ball may have come across the line and come back on her little back and forth sort of stick handling, if you will. And I don't get to see that from that angle. It's kind of blocked out by the scorer's table, but the official there, the turn, right corner, Mackenzie Hughes driving in on Katie Johnson. Hughes sends it out on top for C.J. Decker. Decker driving in and a foul coming up against the Vikings on C.J. Decker's path to the basket. That will go against Adriana Torres and be her third. Ashlyn Deemert up off the bench and set to come back into the game. It's been not exactly a short rotation so far for the Vikings, but Emma Nielsen started the game and then hasn't played a whole lot since. And so the Vikings seem to be honing in on at least a handful of players here in this opening half. Jess Mertens on the top of the key, working left off the inbounds pass, coming back right. Found Mackenzie Hughes on top. Erin Walker, right corner three. That's good. Erin Walker scores her ninth. That's the second three-point shot to go down tonight for Mayville State. They've struggled from out there, but that one will cut the lead to 4 at 34-30 with 3:35 to play until the break. J.C. Richter, baseline, working in, kicking out. Katie Johnson's left alone for 3. Nibbles off the front, and we're going to see a foul coming up. Taryn Dieterle's on the back of C.J. Decker. Dieterle will commit her first, I believe. It will be her first. That will be the 4th against Valley City State. So again, the penalty comes into play for Mayville State for the remainder of the opening half. They will shoot 3 fouls for Mayville State. They've got 1 to give in the second quarter. Rust looking left side. Mertens comes out to the top, takes a bump from Critchley, steps left, a stop, a look towards the corners. Rust comes over for a late pass. Rust turns, maybe drug the pivot foot. Vanessa Johnson wanted to travel, didn't get it. Hughes spinning right, got to the basket and scores. Mackenzie Hughes beginning to take this over for the Comets. She's got 11, and the Viking lead has been cut to 2 at 34-32 with under 3 to play in the first half on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Step left side, Critchley driving in, looks down, little Dieterle, that's broken up. Walker's Rust both there, outlet pass, Mackenzie Hughes to the glass, quick transition basket. Hughes has got 13, we're tied, and the Vikings call for timeout. On the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, the Vikings and Comets even at 34. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
Tied at 34 between the Vikings and Mayville State with 2:46 to play until the break tonight. Take a look at some of the numbers. Right now, Mayville State 2 of 12 from three-point land. The Vikings are 3 of 6. That's a big deal. And tonight, Jess Mertens 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point land. She struggled, but Mackenzie Hughes with 13 points to lead the way for Mayville State, including 8 here in the third quarter that have cut a Vikings 7-point lead to nada. 2.5 to play in this first half of basketball. Katie Johnson right side. The Viking shot clock at 10, and a post entry pass to Torres is knocked out of bounds. It'll be off of the Vikings and will go back to the Comets. So the Comets inbound looking to reclaim the lead. And again, Mackenzie Hughes has been going to the basket frequently. Something talking about with Dennis Hutter tonight. We'll talk more about that as we go. We've got a whistle and a foul coming up on the perimeter as Mayville State got into their flex. Ashlyn Deemert came out through a body. Erin Walker shaken up as she gets back up. And Deemert will pick up the foul. That'll be her first. Talking with Dennis Hutter before the game tonight, Comet head coach, he mentioned that he's got a great relationship with Mackenzie Hughes. He says they butt heads from time to time, but it's done in a respectful way, and that's really what he's looking for out of a player. But he did say that when he's talked with Mackenzie Hughes in the past, the conversation has to do with her going to the basket, and she's doing that tonight. Erin Walker knocks down her 10th with a foul shot. She had 6 in the opening quarter. She's 3 of 4 from the line, but where we've seen Mackenzie Hughes have success, and she hit a 3 earlier, but she's been going to the boards, or actually to the glass with a basketball hard throughout this entire second quarter, and she's got 4 field goals in the second. So obviously she and Dennis Hutter getting on the same page, and it's good for the Comets, let me tell you. Pull-up jump shot coming the other way from J.C. Richter that won't fall. The Comets take a 36-34 lead on those foul shots a moment ago from Erin Walker. C.J. Decker lost the ball on the baseline in transition for the Comets, so this will go back to Valley City State with 1:57 to play until halftime. Allie Critchley into the front court for Valley City State. The Vikings down 2. Critchley a stop, a look towards the right, and sends it out to Katie Johnson on the wing. Johnson taking a look into the elbow for Taryn Dieterle. A look at Deemert inside in the high-low. Not there. Dieterle goes to work with a pivot foot, misses a scoop layup against Aaron Walker. Rebound deflected out to Jess Mertens for the Comets, and Mayville State's back up the floor. Hughes a ball fake and a look, kick out. Jordan's Rust jab stepping, now pulls the trigger for 3 and knocks it down. Jordan's Rust puts you in a tough spot, and Allie Critchley was in it. She was coming out to close, and when Rust made the jab step, Allie had to stop. She wasn't sure what Jordan's Rust was going to do, and that gave Jordan's Rust the opening to take the 3, and the Comets go up 39-34. Off the screen, a 3 knocked down the other way for J.C. Richter, and that's going to break up a big run for the Comets. They had gone on a 12-0 run to take that lead of 39-34. The Vikings now back within 2. A stop on the foul line by Zrust. Kick out to Mackenzie Hughes. Back into Zrust. Turning, getting loose, and scoring off the glass. Hughes to Zrust on the high-low, and Zrust now has 13 as well. Vikings back down 4, 41-37. Dieterle inside against Walker. The kick out. Deemer, top of the key. Critchley looking left. Hard take. Tries to scoop it across the paint for Dieterle. Katie Johnson picks up a loose basketball. Tries a 17-footer on the baseline. That's missed. And C.J. Decker comes away with the basketball for Mayville State. About a 5.5-second differential game clock to shot clock as the Comets come into the front court. They don't look to be in a hurry. Decker on the right side, taking a look towards the corner. Mackenzie Hughes waiting there, but not really ready to take the basketball. Crossover by Decker back to the top. She'll pull the trigger for 3 off a steal and missed it. And a rebound to Deemer with 12 seconds to play until halftime. J.C. Richter into the front court, stepping into the lane, driving right. Hard take to the glass, goes down low to Dieterle, and a foul with 4.6 seconds left. That will likely be on the floor, I would guess. Foul's going to go against Erin Walker, her second. And the Vikings had seen J.C. Richter go to the foul line as if they were going to shoot, but Richter had clearly made a pass into Taryn Dieterle, and they're going to rule that this foul is on the floor, and that's probably the appropriate call. Sydney Brecken back in for Mayville State. Critchley will inbound for the Vikings. Left corner, Richter catch and shoot 3. It's off the front of the rim. Critchley looking for the rebound, couldn't find it, and that will end the first half of basketball. Mayville State a strong second quarter to come back from down by 7 points. At one time a 12-0 run, and they'll take a 4-point lead going into the locker room. On our LaRue Lockow Financial scoreboard at the end of a half of play, your score, Mayville State 41, Valley City State 37. We'll come back with your halftime numbers and our halftime report brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. We've already given out more than $75,000 to students in North Dakota this year. Let us help you become the next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
Your locally owned real estate brokerage is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
Don't leave your wiring to chance. Plug into your number one electrical source, Highline Electric. They're the experts in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. No cutting corners at Highline Electric. Call 845-0731. They'll give you a free estimate before any work is done. Family owned since 1986 with Chad and Tracy Zahn. And I promise, the price won't shock you. Highline Electric in Valley City. Call 845-0731. Building a reputation of integrity and quality.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC Orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
We welcome you back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. We are at halftime in Game 1 of our conference doubleheader tonight. Valley City State Viking basketball here from the Fieldhouse. And our halftime report is brought to you by Rambo's. The Vikings trail the Comets of Mayville State 41-34. Here at the halftime break, the Vikings led by as many as 7. The Comets had a 10-0 run to take a 7-point lead of their own back in the opening half, or correction, a 6-point lead in the opening quarter, and then came back from down 7 with a 12-0 run to eventually go up by 5, but the Vikings challenging that back to a couple of points before the break, and a late bucket by Mayville State will push the lead to 4, and that will take us into our halftime report tonight. Our halftime report is brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. See Rambo for your promotional products and find out more about what they can do for you. The key numbers from this opening half, one of the things that may have been lost on us a little bit in the opening half, although we did touch on it a couple of times, Valley City State did a nice job of limiting Mayville State's second chances, 19-18 on the rebounding advantage for Valley City State. We saw some really physical rebounding from a couple of players, Ashlyn Deemer and Allie Critchley in particular, that went out there and decided to just throw some bodies. And they, along with Taryn Dieterle coming out of here, 4 rebounds for Dieterle and 3 each for Allie Critchley and Ashlyn Deemer. But we saw them really pick up their physical level of play with the way that they rebounded the basketball. A couple of things for Mayville State. They shoot it 3 of 14 from the three-point line, only 21% from out there. But a huge factor in a game like this, when it's a 4-point game, Mayville State was 10 of 11 from the foul line. Valley City State was 1 of 2 from the foul line. You're at home, you get just 2 foul shots in the opening half, and your opposition gets 11. You don't expect that, and Mayville State hit 10 of them, and that was a big factor for the Comets in that opening half. Shooting percentages, the Vikings 48.5% from the field, the Comets 42.4%. The mid-range jumper was really something the Vikings tried to get after, and they did so successfully in that first half of play. Individual numbers, Comets led by 13 points and 6 rebounds from Jordan Rust in the opening half, and also 13 points from Mackenzie Hughes, who was 6 of 9 from the field in that first half. Aaron Walker with 11 points for the Comets. C.J. Decker and Jess Mertens each add 2. Tough half for Mertens, 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. She hit a couple of foul shots to get on the board. For the Vikings, 10 points for J.C. Richter leads the way going forward. And again, just a wonderful addition to this basketball team, coming over from the volleyball team and making her appearance here in conference play, and 10 points off the bench tonight for J.C. Richter, a couple of rebounds as well. 7 points for Haley Roberts and also for Ashlyn Deemert. And Deemert, we mentioned, those 3 rebounds out there as well. Adriana Torres with 8, but got into some foul trouble. She had a nice night working, but plays just 7 minutes, 49 seconds in the opening half due to some foul trouble. 8 points early, though, to get her night going. Hopefully she can find that mark again in the second half. Allie Critchley hit a 3. Taryn Dieterle knocked down a bucket as well. And it's 41-37. Mayville State leads Valley City State by 4 at halftime on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Also on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard tonight, Dakota State with a big lead over Waldorf in conference play as they make their way towards halftime. We'll give you the update on that matchup, which is the other game that we can find for you right now, and they may be in the third quarter of that one already. So we'll give you a rundown on that matchup inside the conference and talk more about our broadcast digs for tomorrow. Here at the break, your score from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse is the Comets 41 and the Vikings 37. This is Vikings basketball, and the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is here to serve your healthcare needs. During the month of January, take 10% off all Health Mart and Sunmark products. The flu and cold season has hit us hard. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City, where they know you by name. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage, is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse and Viking basketball tonight on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening from the Fieldhouse in Valley City, where the Comets of Mayville State have a 41-37 lead over the Vikings in our intermission. Our halftime report is brought to you tonight by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Well, one score to pass along in progress tonight, but I'm not sure how accurate this score is. We're supposed to be receiving scores in progress tonight from Dakota State and Waldorf. They're playing down in Madison tonight. And the score at halftime was 33-18 Dakota State, which is very much believable. But the problem is the scoreboard shows that they only have 3 minutes and 14 seconds left of the third quarter, and no one has scored in the third. I'm wondering if this is not actually a countdown clock of their halftime break, and perhaps that's the miscue, because it's really not possible in college basketball for two teams to not score through nearly 7 minutes of the third quarter, is it? So it must be a halftime score at this point, and the clock that we're seeing is just getting us ready for the start of quarter number 3. So again, in progress, Dakota State leading Waldorf by a score of 33-18 this evening. And the Trojans are getting it done defensively, just like they did against the Vikings when Valley City State was down there. They've held Waldorf to 6 of 20 from the field. The best thing that Waldorf's been able to get, 4 of 8 from the foul line tonight, and Waldorf turned it over 20 times in the opening half of play tonight. That's what makes Dakota State so very good at what they're doing. The other thing that makes them very good at what they're doing is Elsley Osleson, who joined the team right around that time that we got into that jamboree that was going on down at Presentation College during the Thanksgiving break, and she scored 9 points, 4 of 5 from the field in the opening half tonight, and she has become one of the premier players in the North Star Athletic Association, and she's leading the way tonight for Dakota State. So again, right now Dakota State leading Waldorf by a score of 33-18, and we're assuming that that game is at halftime. Tonight we'll try to get some scores of games in progress later, as Valley City is on the road at Devils Lake in boys basketball tonight, at home with Devils Lake in girls basketball. We had every intention of bringing you the Highlanders this evening. However, Ricky Clovercamp, who was going to take that assignment for us, came back from a matchup last night and really was under the weather. And trust me, I had a chance to talk with Ricky this morning, and we're not kidding. Ricky had to take the night off and needs to get healthy. We've had a run of something going through our building at I3G Media downtown in Valley City, and all of us have been touched by it at some point except for a select few. And so in the long run, Ricky needed to take the night off, and we were going to recapture a broadcast from Devil's Lake, but their radio station is not covering the game in favor of girls hockey tonight. So we kind of had a mess, and we were unable to bring you that matchup, but we'll try to get some scores of it in progress this evening. And the girls are at home tonight. They go up against Devil's Lake, and we'll try to bring you some scores in progress of that one throughout the course of the night as well. And again, we're back here tomorrow when the Vikings will welcome in Presentation College, and that will be the last time the Vikings play Presentation College in a regular season game. Presentation College announcing last week that they will be closing their doors at the end of this academic year, and the Vikings are going to lose a member in the North Star Athletic Association. Now, one thing worth mentioning in our news and notes as we continue our halftime report tonight, brought to you by Rambo, in visiting with Dennis McCulloch, who's the athletic director here at Valley City State, along with the head football coach, there were some teams, the Vikings, along with Mayville State and Dickinson State, that got together this week just to make sure that they had some plans going forward for what their future was going to hold. And during that conversation, we found out that the NAIA is considering expanding their football playoff field. And so that was fun to hear from Dennis yesterday and visiting with Coach McCulloch. And here's the way it works. Right now in the NAIA, they take 16 teams into the playoffs. If you are a conference champion, the requirement is you must also be ranked in the top 20 in order to advance to the playoffs. Otherwise, you will not do so. And if you are a conference champion, but you're ranked inside the top 20, then somebody that's ranked in the top 16 is going to get bumped out of the playoffs. Well, the NAIA is looking to fix some of that, and so here's what they're going to do. The NAIA is looking at expanding their playoff field from 16 to 20 teams. Now, this is passed out of the Football Coaches Committee. The regular body of the NAIA has to approve it as a group. Coach McCulloch telling us that there's a lot of positivity around this right now. And so it's not a foregone conclusion, but he expects that there will be a favorable vote on this coming up in April. And if it passes, then it would be in effect for the upcoming fall football season. And the way it will work is they will expand the field to 20 teams, and all 13 football playing conferences will have an automatic bid, no matter what. No matter your ranking, if you win your league, you're going to the playoffs. They will then take 7 at-large teams and move on from there. And so hopefully that will be an enticement for some conferences like the North Star to try to stay together instead of some members moving around. Obviously, PC closing is a completely different thing, but you want to make sure that you keep Waldorf. You want to make sure that you keep Iowa Wesleyan, Dakota State with some advantages to being in a conference, and winning a league and going to the playoffs is one of those advantages. So that would be a positive move to try to solidify the North Star Athletic Association, and also to kind of keep things going in the right direction for Valley City State as well. So we'll see how that goes, but hopefully in April, favorable vote. And then we'll see what the future holds as far as conferences are concerned as well. Getting ready to start the second half. Vikings trailing by a score of 41-37 to Mayville State. The Comets will have the basketball to start half number 2. Moving from our right to left now, and here we go. Valley City State down 4. They need some big moments early. They can't afford to lose any momentum to Mayville State to start this second half. Jordan's Rust working left, trying to move her way into the lane. Turn off the glass, left it short. Rebound comes down with Allie Critchley. Vikings into the front court. Emma Nielsen, who started, back out there to start this second half. A look to Haley Roberts, jab stepping right, reverses back to Nielsen. Left side for Critchley on the wing, and out to Haley Roberts, top of the key. Torres down low, Deemert off the glass, score it. Count is down to 2. Ashlyn Deemert with 9 points on the night, and the Vikings have cut the Mayville State lead to 2 at 41-39. Ball on the right side of the floor with Rust. A reversal to Hughes on the left wing. Now Mertens coming off the left wing and driving her way to the lane to turn, pull up from 5. She hit it, and that's the first field goal tonight for Jess Mertens. Mertens is a very good player and probably waited far too long to come up with a field goal, but she was trying the perimeter for quite a bit, and you could see on that possession Dennis Hutter and the Comets had a very concerted effort to get her something from closer range. Diemert inside, fighting for a basketball with Mertens. Kicking it out to Critchley. Roberts is left alone for three. Top of the key, left it short. Rebounds off the glass and loose. Torres got it, but Walker ends up ripping it away, and Mayville State's back into the front court, leading 43-39. Walker, top of the key for Zrust, moving right. Kicks out to Mertens, left alone for three. That one fills and falls in on a double kiss. And we see a three-point shot now for Mertens, and she's beginning to find her range. The lead for Mayville State is 7 at 46-39. Vikings into the front court. Diemert working right, behind the back dribble, looking down to the baseline. Torres spinning her way down low, double pivot, back to left hand around Walker, scores it with a scoop. Adriana Torres to double figures now with 10, having her best night in a while for Valley City State. Lead cut to 5. 46-41 Comets. Hughes backdoor cut off the glass, counted one. Critchley couldn't get over to close it off, gave the bump on Hughes, who goes rumbling beyond the baseline, scores it, and has a chance at the foul line, and Allie Critchley will commit her first foul. Hughes with 15 points tonight to lead the way for Mayville State. And Mackenzie Hughes will go to the stripe, looking to extend that lead now to 8. Bonus foul shot is good. Mackenzie Hughes, a 74.1% foul shooter. 16 points on the night, and it's 49-41. The Comets with an 8-point lead. Vikings up front. Torres inside against Walker. Back to the basket. Scoop. Fall away. Torres scores it again. She's got 12. Adriana Torres, when they isolate for her, she's finding her way with her back to the basket tonight. Lead cut to 6, 49-43. A drive in by Zrust trying to put her back to the basket. Now she's hit by help side. Ball goes loose, and Dennis Hutter, I believe, is called a timeout. No, he is not. This will turn into a jump ball. The arrow's going to favor the Vikings. Wilhelmy will come back into the matchup. She'll replace Allie Critchley for Valley City State. And the Vikings have a chance to cut this 6-point lead down to 4 or possibly 3. 2.5 minutes into the third quarter. Vikings trailing 49-43. Wilhelmy kicking out left side. Emma Nielsen loads up on a 3, then drives and pulls up on a baseline jump shot. Missed it, but Torres got the rebound. A drive in by Roberts. Mid-range putback, no good. And a foul coming up at the board. Adriana Torres going to be called for her 4th personal foul. She protests as she steps aside. And Torres will have to come out of the game, and that's a big loss for the Vikings. Taryn Dieterle will come in to replace her. Adriana Torres, 5'10", not exactly a big 5 in this North Star Athletic Association, but she's been playing with her back to the basket a lot tonight when she wasn't taking mid-range jump shots, and she's been very effective on both ends of that. 49-43, Comets by 6 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Mackenzie Hughes with it for Mayville State. They look down low to Emma Pesa from Zrust. Pesa left block, spinning on Dieterle, driving her way to the basket, scores off the glass. Emma Pesa's first 2, and we didn't see Taryn Dieterle really challenge her that much defensively. The Vikings might be a bit concerned about their foul situation here. Roberts a stop on the right block, in some trouble there, looking to get rid of it, threw it away. Jess Mertens a steal. Ball goes loose on her play back inbounds. Mackenzie Hughes picks it up for the Comets, steps to the basket, misses. Vikings thought they had a travel. Mayville State thought they had a foul. Neither team has anything, and Wilhelmy will bring it into the front court. Now we've got a whistle away from the basketball. Ashlyn Diemert's upset, believing Emma Pesa flopped. She says that's a flop. Diemert's going to be called for a foul, her second. Vanessa Johnson's giving an official an earful, and the ball goes back to the Comets, with the Comets leading by a score of 51-43, 3.5 minutes into this third quarter of play. Hughes front court. Comets looking to take their biggest lead of the night. They currently lead by 8. Hughes crossover dribble to the left hand. Back to Decker, right elbow. Decker drives in, looks, kicks out. Mertens left alone for 3 on top. It's good. And the lead goes to 11. Jess Mertens can't be held scoreless forever. Already to double figures after not hitting a field goal in the first half. Pair of 3s and a 2. She's got 10. And the lead is 11 for the Comets at 54-43. Inside Dieterle, ball knocked loose. It's on the floor. Nielsen wrestles for it. Whistle, foul coming up, or is it just out of bounds? Let's see. I think we got a foul, and I think we got it against Mayville State. Emma Pesa is going to be called for that, her second personal foul. The Vikings will get the basketball back. 6 minutes left of the third quarter here, and time running out, down 11. The Vikings can't afford to continue to give up opportunities. Head fake by Wilhelmy stepping in, tries to go down low for Dieterle, deflected in the air, and the Vikings were all out of sorts on that possession. Jordan Zrust comes away with the basketball. Comets up front, look near side. Emma Pesa into the corner for C.J. Decker. Decker working back to the foul line. Bounce pass to Pesa, left block. Turns, squares up, fires over Dieterle and misses strong. Weak side rebound to Ashlyn Diemert for Valley City State. Vikings on the move. Diemert on top, driving left. Hard take to the basket. Diemert scores. Ashlyn Diemert going in hard and scoring her 11th. Vikings back within 9, 54-45. Decker into the front court for the Comets. Crossover dribble. Vikings need a stop here to try to regain some momentum. On top, Hughes working right. Hard take. Got to the window too easily again. And Mackenzie Hughes has got 18 points. Mackenzie Hughes has come to Valley City State to show everybody who's boss, and right now it's her. 56-45. The Vikings back down 11. A stop for Roberts. To the top for Nielsen. Left side, Madison Wilhelmy. She looks in at Diemert, driving baseline, kick out. Nielsen, top of the key, Roberts. They're looking for a three. They can't find it. Ball goes into Diemert loose. Dieterle got it, was hit from behind, and that'll be a foul against Emma Pesa. The third against Pesa. It's going to take her out of the game. 4:51 left of the third. Meredith Dumas back in the game. She's got a heavy wrap on her right hand. We haven't seen that before for Dumas. J.C. Richter will come into the matchup as well. That almost looks like a sprained wrist or maybe a thumb. But she'll come back in for the Vikings. And we'll see Sydney Brecken coming back in for Mayville State to replace Emma Pesa in that 4 position. First foul shot for Dieterle is good. Dieterle now with 3. Lead is 10, 56-46. In favor of Mayville State. Vikings looking at their second from Dieterle. That one also goes in. Taryn Dieterle, 78.4% from the foul line. She's got 4 points on the night. And the Vikings are back in the defensive mode here as Mayville State will come back into the front court, leading by 9. Ball on the right side, Brecken to Mackenzie Hughes in the right corner. Hughes driving out towards the foul line. The turn, the look down low. The turn by Brecken. She'll score the left-hand scoop. Sydney Brecken with her first 2. Comets right back on top by 11 at 58-47. Trading's not going to work for the Vikings. They'll need to get some stops, and Mayville State has been blistering a high percentage from the field in this third quarter. J.C. Richter for 3 is off the heel for the Vikings. Jess Mertens a weak side rebound. She's on the run for the Comets. Settles out top of the key, works right, stops in, kicks it back out towards the right side. Kick the ball back to Hilika. Now near side, a stop by Hughes. Reversal, Mertens wide open three-point shot. That one's off the heel. Madison Wilhelmy the rebound, and the Vikings dodged a bullet. Valley City State back up front, down 11. Richter into the lane, kicking down low to Dieterle. High off the glass. There's the high-low, and Dieterle will score. 6 for Taryn Dieterle. Good dribble drive and draw for Richter. Lead cut back to 9 at 58-49 with 3:40 to play in the third quarter on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Zrust working right. Ball got a little sticky. She kicks it out to Halika. Down low to Brecken. Defended loose. Hughes comes over for the loose basketball and took a shot from Haley Roberts, I believe. That's going to lead to a foul on Haley Roberts, her third. Change as Jess Mertens will step off. Kayla Rockel comes back in for the Comets. Allie Critchley will come back in for the Vikings, replacing Haley Roberts, and we'll see Katie Johnson back in as well. She'll replace Wilhelmy. Comets inbound. Hughes gets it in, gets it back, drives hard to the basket, got a bump, and will go to the foul line. Meredith Dumas trying to close over on a little help side defense and gave the bump to Hughes. Dumas is second. And the Vikings already in the penalty once again now. That'll be the 5th team foul against Valley City State. So we'll see the Comets shooting for the final 3:29 of the third. Mackenzie Hughes looking for 20 points on the night, hits her 19th. Yeah, that's twice now tonight that we've seen Mackenzie Hughes take a little bump and come right back and go right back to the basket. Second foul shot is good, actually good, and in and out, I should say, no good, so leave her at 19, but you've seen just Mackenzie Hughes kind of do that little thing. She's going to show you, you will not hurt me. She might get knocked down, but she's going to come right back and try to do something back in the form of scoring. She'll prove it there rather than throw another physical body. Katie Johnson looking down low, trying to find Dieterle. Ball wrestled loose by Zrust. This is out of bounds. The initial call was back to Mayville, but the official who made that just kind of got his signals crossed up and immediately reversed it and said back to Valley City State. Boy, it didn't take the partisan faithful long to react quite strongly, even though didn't give him a chance to change it. J.C. Richter, left side to drive in from 10. She'll hit on the mid-range. J.C. Richter with 12 points. She has been a star tonight for Valley City State, and she is co-leading the team now with that 12 points. Lead cut to 8, 59-51. Comets back in the front court. On top, the ball taken by Brecken. She'll look off towards the right. Jordan's Rust back to the basket, spinning in on Dieterle, the stop. The kick out to Hughes, left alone, takes the three. It's off the heel. Offensive boards, Rust put back blocked by Dumas. Rust picked up the loose basketball. Hughes looking back down to Rockel, who pulls up, count it, one. Couple of offensive rebounds in that sequence that the Vikings can ill afford to give up, down 8. And Kayla Rockel will make them pay to put them down 10. Katie Johnson with her first personal foul. Rockel looking for the three-point play, and we'll see Ashlyn Diemert coming in, replacing Taryn Dieterle. You had the lead down to that 8-point margin, and you get a miss and then another. You have to come up with a board in that sequence, and the Vikings just didn't get it done. Rockel's bonus foul shot is good. That will give her a 3-point night tonight. And the Comets regain an 11-point lead at 62-51 with 2.5 minutes left. A kick out by Critchley comes back to Richter on the right side. Richter between the legs dribble, working right baseline, took a bump in that sequence and will pick up a foul coming in from Greta Hilika. First on Hilika, just the third against the Comets. They have one more to give here in the third quarter. Allie Critchley steps beyond the baseline to trigger in the basketball for Valley City State. Couple of picks set. Ball comes to Diemert, knocked away. Kayla Rockel stepped in front of it, takes it on a deflection, drives to the basket, misses a layup. Rebound deflected out of bounds. We got a foul coming up that'll go against Mackenzie Hughes. Hughes decided to get a little physical and got an arm up. Oh, they're just going to call it out of bounds. Okay, not a foul. They're just going to rule that one out of bounds. Mackenzie Hughes got an arm in on Diemert. They both went to the floor hard. I thought we would see a foul against the Comets instead. Nope, just out of bounds and play on, says Cale Hamry. A step to the left for J.C. Richter. Richter taking a look inside. Bounces one back out to Katie Johnson. Johnson a stop and a look, and Kayla Rockel made a little bump. That will be a foul. And the ball will go back into the hands of the Vikings. This will be on the floor, but now the Vikings will earn the penalty for the final 2:01 of the third quarter. Sydney Brecken returns for Mayville State. Jess Mertens will do so as well. Ball on the right side with Richter. Richter a stop into the corner. Diemert driving down the line. Kicks inside to Dumas. Dumas looking for a shot. Pivot, left hand, left it short. Rebound loose in the lane, and Greta Hilika comes away with it for Mayville State. Crossover dribble to get free of Critchley. She works right side. Jess Mertens on the wing, curling back to the top. Kicking out Hughes. Wide open three. That one off the heel. Trickles around and eventually would not go down. And Meredith Dumas comes up with the basketball for the Vikings. 90 seconds left in the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, and Jess Mertens going to be called for a very light piece of contact for her third personal foul, fronting a basketball in the backcourt. And Dennis Hutter says that's bad. The head coach of the Comets steps up, and there have been some very physical plays tonight that have not netted a whistle. That one was not as physical, and it nets a whistle. Allie Critchley's first foul shot is no good. Allie struggles in this spot. 39.3% from the foul line, averaging 2.4 points, 3.5 rebounds a game. You know, she's amongst the leaders when you get past the biggies of Torres and Dieterle rebounding the basketball, but misses a couple of foul shots here. Mackenzie Hughes a loose ball rebound, and Critchley with some contact brought her down in the back court. Critchley second, and the way this game is being played right now, with some of the physicality that's beginning to set in, I'm not really sure what type of finish we're going to have, but it seems like players on both sides of the floor tonight now feel like there's a certain amount of contact they're going to be able to dish out, and at times you can, and at times you can't. Hughes' first foul shot rolls off the right side of the rim. McKenzie still looking for that elusive 20th point. 62-51, Comets by 11 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard with 1:25 to play. Second for Mackenzie Hughes will give her 20 points tonight. 63-51, biggest lead of the night now for the Comets, a dozen points. The Vikings need some work defensively here. A drive on the right side of the floor for J.C. Richter. Katie Johnson, ball faking, trying to open something up. Richter into Dumas, playing with the back to the basket on Brecken. Steps in, turns, fall away. Trying to knock one down, going left. Missed the shot. Rebound deflected. Picked up by Greta Hilika. Here comes Mayville State into the front court. Hilika stop. Look back to Jordan's Rust on the far sideline. Back to Hilika, who will take a three. It's off the heel of the rim. Rebounds Rust and a foul. Looks like they're going to get Allie Critchley. And Allie Critchley's not going to like that. Critchley's third. And this will put Jordan's Rust on the foul line. Taryn Dieterle will come in. Allie Critchley argues her case. She'll be replaced by Madison Wilhelmy. Ashlyn Diemert will come off the floor as Dieterle re-enters. And a chance now for Rust to extend this lead to 13 or 14 points for Mayville State. Another lefty, and her first is good. Jordan's Rust with 14. More of a factor in this game than she was at Mayville State. She didn't need to be much of a factor at the Louis Lee Fieldhouse on Saturday. Today she's been a factor. Second foul shot's hard off the heel of the rim and won't go down. Katie Johnson the rebound. The Vikings down 13 with 45 seconds to play in the third quarter. Johnson left baseline to Dumas, mid-range jumper that goes up and over the heel of the rim. No good, and the rebound taken down by Greta Halika for Mayville State. 11-second differential as Russ brings it into the front court looking for Kayla Rockel. Deflected loose. Rockel runs it down on the top of the key, stepping right, working right side of the paint, got to the baseline. Katie Johnson knocked it away, and it ends up out of bounds. It'll stay Comet basketball. C.J. Decker comes on the floor to replace Greta Halika. One of the things I'm going to check when we get the third quarter numbers, we've been talking a lot about Mackenzie Hughes tonight, her minutes. I don't know that I've seen her step off the floor. I mean, I'm sure she has. I just don't remember it. Inbounds pass to Rockel on the top of the key. About an 11-second differential here. 10 seconds to shoot. On top, the ball was C.J. Decker working left. Steps in, goes back door. Rockel on the baseline cut, missed it. Rebound battle inside. Wilhelmy goes up on a jump to take it away and then got tripped up coming into the front court. Decker puts her hands up to say me, and that's usually the person it's on. C.J. Decker's first. And that will give the Vikings a chance to shoot some foul shots here with the clock down to 12.4 seconds left. So some foul shots coming up for the Vikings. First foul shot is no good for Madison Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy looking for her first points tonight. A 68.6% foul shooter. The foul shooting advantage is decidedly in favor of the Comets, not just tonight, but coming into the night of the numbers. Second foul shot for Wilhelmy is good. That will give her first point tonight. Comet lead cut to 12. Mayville State with the basketball, the final possession. Decker got to the basket, and then a whistle and a very late foul from the backside. Madison Wilhelmy is going to be called for that. That play was right in front of Cale Hamry down on the baseline, and he didn't see a foul, but our near side official apparently did from a much greater distance and calls it. And C.J. Decker is going to find her way to the line to shoot foul shots for the Comets. First on the way for Decker is good. That will give her 3. Another big quarter shooting foul shots for Mayville State. The Comets had a decided advantage in that category coming into the half, and right now they are 15 of 19. They'll be 15 of 20 as a team as Decker missed that one. Clock expiring. Wilhelmy heaves it up from half court, hits the bank board, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter of basketball. The Comets take some control of the game and lead by a score of 65 to 52 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard at the end of 3. A timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, and your fourth quarter is on the way next. This is Viking basketball on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Hannah Wieland, a freshman at Valley City State University. The V500 scholarship members' generosity and commitment is exactly the kind of community involvement we need to keep VCSU going strong. The many scholarships provided are a testament to the support of the alumni, family, and friends of VCSU. Please keep expanding the opportunities available to enhance the lives of the next generation and make a difference for attracting future Vikings by supporting scholarships online at give.vcsu.edu or by calling the VCSU Foundation.
Did you know that January is National Bath Safety Month? Here are some ways to stay safe in your bathroom from Smith Lumber Home Center. Install non-slip mats in the bath. Add safety handles. Add lights. Install a step in the tub. Add ADA accessories. Child-proof the bathroom, or maybe it's a new toilet. And Smith Lumber Home Center has all kinds of toilets, including soft close and bidet seats. Keep your home safe with Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City.
65-52, the Vikings down by 13 to Mayville State at the end of 3 quarters on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. We welcome you back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. I told you that I would check those numbers after 3 quarters, and You know, there's two things that jump off the page for Mayville State. Jordan's Rust has not been out of the game tonight. 30 minutes for Jordan's Rust through 3 quarters. Mackenzie Hughes, 28 minutes and 13 seconds, so she's been out a very short period of time. Those two players have played 58 minutes and 30 seconds of a 60-minute game so far. Here's a take to the basket. Count it and one for Mackenzie Hughes, getting in on Ashlyn Deemert. Deemert trying to take the charge. She was in the arc underneath the basket. I don't think you can take a charge in there, and that's the conversation right now. The officials talking it over. It looked like there was an impetus to call Mackenzie Hughes for a charge, but Deemert's in that arc underneath the basket, and that's where the foul's going to go. Ashlyn Deemert will pick up her third. The bucket's going to count for Mackenzie Hughes. That will give her 22 points tonight for Mayville State, and she'll go to the line looking for 23 on a bonus throw. The big moments in those quarters, or rather in that third quarter, belong to Mackenzie Hughes and also Jess Mertens, as Mertens finally started to score from the perimeter for Mayville State. Hughes hits the bonus foul shot, has 23. Deemert for 3 for the Vikings, no good. Dieterle comes down with an offensive rebound and a foul coming up in the lane that may be going against. It will not. I was going to say Mackenzie Hughes, but no, this foul's going to go against Sydney Brecken. Leading scorers, Valley City State, co-led by Adriana Torres and J.C. Richter, each with 12. 11 for Ashlyn Deemert for the Vikings. And Mayville State with the basketball led by Mackenzie Hughes, 23. Deemert trying to spin a layup up against a double team. Missed it. Dieterle and O-board back to Deemert. Misses again off the glass, and this time Jordan's Rust will come down with the basketball for Mayville State. We'll get some more of those third quarter numbers coming up here. 9:20 to play of the fourth. Rust off the bump to the basket. Missed it short. Foul. Ashlyn Deemert comes away protesting. Foul will go against Ashlyn Deemert, her fourth. Through 3 quarters, Mayville State 16 of 21 from the foul line. The Vikings 4 of 8. Can't explain that on your home surface. The Vikings have out-rebounded Mayville State tonight, 31-28. Turnover battle right now, 13-5 against the Vikings. Mayville State's only turned it over 5 times in the matchup through 3 quarters of play tonight, which is an astounding small number. At the line, first foul shot for Jordan's Rust is no good. 14 and holding for Jordan's Rust. On the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, they're now into the fourth quarter down in Madison, and Dakota State leading 53-31. Second foul shot for Rust is good. That will give her 15 points tonight. Comets now lead 69-52. They've quietly stretched this thing out to 17 points. Richter, top of the key. Left side, Roberts stepping down towards the baseline into Dieterle. Mid-range jump shot short. Rebound, Rockel fighting with Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy's able to pull it away, but will be called for a travel, trying to step away from pressure along the baseline. And the Comets will get it back with a minute and a second gone by here in this third quarter of basketball, or rather fourth quarter of basketball. Decker into the front court for Mayville State, looking to the near side of the floor for Aaron Walker. Crossover, Walker into the lane, kicking back out near side for Rocco. We got a whistle and a foul coming up. J.C. Richter lost a foot. We'd say lost an edge in the hockey matchup. She went down trying to defend against Rocco's drive, and will be called for the Vikings' third foul in the fourth quarter. J.C. Richter's first. C.J. Decker inbounds for the Comets. Decker taking a look, near side's Rust, back to the basket, working her way down against Madison Spacier, and Spacier is going to be called for a foul as she draws the defensive assignment against Jordan's Rust. Spacier, first personal tonight for Spacier, a 5'11 freshman out of Watford City, North Dakota, doesn't get a chance to play here until the fourth quarter, and then your very first assignment is to try to defend one of the premier players in the conference. That's a tough spot for a freshman out of Watford City to end up in. 16 for Rust as she knocks down the front end, and the lead for the Comets opens up to 18 at 70-52, 70 and 52, and holding as the second foul shot won't go for Jordan's Rust. Vikings into the front court, down 18 with 8:40 to play in the fourth quarter. Dieterle out near side for Richter. Back to Dieterle, right block, turn, head fake, got the defender up. Count it and one. Taryn Dieterle, head fake, got the defender in the air, spins back to the right hand and scores it. And the Vikings have a chance at a three-point play. The foul will go against Aaron Walker, her third. That's a nice setup inside for Taryn Dieterle. Really nicely done to get the defender in the air and go with the up and under. Dieterle's bonus foul shot is good, and the hometown gal from Valley City has a three-point play and has 9. Vikings back within 15. Comets into the front court. Walker on the top, working left. Took a look down low at Rockall, then sort of mishandled it. I think she wanted Rockall and then double clutched it to the basket. Roberts, and a foul coming up. Erin Walker backing up defensively, going to be called for her 4th, as Haley Roberts just picked the player in blue and went right at her. And Walker will come off the floor. Up the floor that time, Walker, I thought, wanted to go down low to Rockall, and then when she saw Rockall was cut off, made a very late decision to try to turn it back to the wing for Hughes, and that's what held the basketball up. Roberts hits her first foul shot. 8 points for Roberts tonight. She had 7 quickly tonight, but did not score in the third quarter. Roberts on the way for her second, and that one's also good. Haley Roberts knocking down her 9th point. Vikings have cut the lead back to 13. A stop and a bucket here, maybe a three-point play. Get within 11 or 10, start to put some doubt back in this thing. Decker, Rockall on the top of the key, working right, steps back to Mackenzie Hughes. Left side, down low for Brecken. It's ripped loose, and the Vikings with J.C. Richter will come up with a takeaway on the steal. Madison Spacier looking down low, tried to run the floor a bit too aggressively. Her pass to Roberts in the post knocked loose, and it was ill-advised. Jordan's Rust comes away with the basketball. Mayville State back into the front court. Decker driving on Dieterle. Kick out to the right. Rust steps in the lane, works back to Decker. Head fake on a 3, draws Spacier. She'll drive, kicks it down low to Rust. A loose basketball as Rust got it, goes to the basket and scores off the heel of the rim. And a timeout taken by Mayville State. They may have scored, but Dennis Hutter didn't like a little bit of a ragged look offensively, and he's going to talk about it. 7:37 left of the fourth quarter. On the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, Comets 72, Vikings 57. Timeout from Ability Plus Rehabilitation. And this is Viking basketball.
You don't want to fumble it away with these two events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops? For the big game, Valentine's Day, or anytime, remember Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
Timeout taken by the Comets after a bit of a ragged look that still netted a bucket for Jordan's Rust, who now has 18 points tonight. Vikings trail by 15, 72-57. 7.5 to play in the fourth on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Top of the key, ball taken by Spacier. A look down low, Dieterle off the glass, missing. Ball knocked loose, and it's brought down by C.J. Decker on the baseline for Mayville State. The Comets had an 18-point lead. It was cut to 13. Now a travel will deny them the opportunity to build it again back further. But the Vikings have seen a couple of stops, but the second half has been so much better for the Comets offensively than the first half, and it's really put the Vikings in a bind when they have gotten stops. Some old boards have killed them. Adriana Torres back in the game. Ball knocked out of bounds by a Comet. The other factor in this one tonight, Torres with limited minutes. Foul trouble for Adriana Torres through 3 quarters of the game tonight. Torres, who had a really nice night going offensively, had only had 10 minutes and 34 seconds of playing time. A shot knocked loose for the Vikings, a takeaway by Mackenzie Hughes. Hughes goes to the basket and scores. She's got 25 to lead the way for the Comets tonight. The lead is 17 at 74-57. Torres inside, backing down Brecken. Fall away good for Adriana Torres. 14 points, and Torres leads the way in scoring. More minutes out of Torres, only 10.5 minutes through 3 quarters. That's a real struggle. The Vikings had a little different look at it if they had kept her in the game tonight. Brecken, a kick out, left side 3. Jordan's Rust is strong, and the rebound comes down with Torres for Valley City State. Vikings down 15. Back in the front court, Roberts slipping and going down hard in the lane on that right knee that's got a heavy brace on it. She struggles to get back to her feet. There will be a foul that was called in that sequence, or was it just out of bounds? Looks like there's a rule that was just out of bounds. There was a whistle that came from the near side of the floor. I don't know if that was just to allow for subs. And Haley Roberts has come to the near sideline, and she is holding at her right knee right now as she's being talked to by head coach Vanessa Johnson. They're looking to see if that knee's okay. We'll see. She's going to talk with the training staff as well as the Comets come back up the floor with the basketball. 6:15 to go here in the fourth quarters. Rust, a reversal, threw it away. Stepping out in front, J.C. Richter. She'll drive against Mackenzie Hughes, spins on her, got inside, goes to the glass and missed it short. Rust the rebound against Madison Spacier. And here come the Comets back into the front court, still with a 15-point lead. A toss to Jess Mertens, high from Zrust on the baseline. Mertens turns it back to C.J. Decker. Back to Mertens, a three from the right wing is off the heel of the rim. Rebound Allie Critchley for Valley City State. Vikings back into the front court with it. A look towards the left side, a stop, a kick in. Meredith Dumas with her back to the basket, trying to post up on Brecken. Fall away scoop, counted one with a finger roll English. Meredith Dumas getting her first points tonight. Lead cut to 13 at 74-51. The bucket's good. The foul will go against Brecken. That'll be her second. Emma Pesa will come back on to replace Sydney Brecken. Dennis Hutter continues to talk about the call in that sequence. In the meantime, Meredith Dumas, senior out of Grafton, North Dakota, is at the foul line, and her bonus foul shot is good. Dumas now with three. Lead cut to 12, 74-62. Time is now for the Vikings. They need stops and buckets, a couple of them back-to-back to try to cut this thing under a double-figure lead. On top, it's Zrust for Mayville State. Right side, ball taken down low for the Comets, inside to Pace and a foul. At some point, you have to try to find a way to deny that basketball. Meredith Dumas with her third. The Vikings seem to have, I guess, opted, if you will, for closing on help side when the ball gets in there rather than trying to deny that post-entry pass. And when there's a lot of fouls being called, it's just going to lead to opportunities for the opposition. Emma Pace's first foul shot won't fall. Still a 12-point Comet lead. They've led by as many as 18 rather. Second foul shot does go in, double kiss off the heel of the rim, and it's 75-62. The lead is 13 in favor of Mayville State. Dumas inside the turn, double pivot, steps right. Pesa just blocked her shot. Really good defensive stand that time by Emma Pesa for the Comets, and Mayville State comes away with possession. We'll see how they handle this with the clock down to 5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Mackenzie Hughes on top, near side. It's Jess Mertens off the dribble for three. It's off the heel of the rim, no good. Rebound ran down by Allie Critchley out on the perimeter. A couple of things the Comets are doing that are a bit surprising here. A stop left side, bounce inside to Torres, backing down Pesa, fall away off the glass, missing short. C.J. Decker the board. I am surprised at this point that the Comets still have both Zrust and Mackenzie Hughes on the floor simultaneously. And the reason is you got to play again tomorrow. We'll talk more about that. Pesa inside, looking at Zrust, trying to square up to the basket, fall away off the glass, missing, got her own miss, and her second ever draws a foul. Critchley and Dumas both there. The odds-on favorite is Allie Critchley, and she will get it. The reason why I say that is not that the Comets have the game completely in control and you can just take your top players off the floor, but you have another game coming up tomorrow against Dickinson State. You got to go out there. And, you know, when you got players that have played 30 minutes and 28-13 through three quarters, you start to wonder a little bit about what they're going to have left in the tank for tomorrow as Russ knocks down her 19th. They'll have the mental energy to go. That's those two players don't come out of the game. But physically, you know, when you play this many minutes on a Friday night, what do you have left to go out to Dickinson on Saturday afternoon with those two mainstays in your lineup? Zrust will get herself to 20 points as she knocks down both ends. And Mayville State will call a timeout with their lead back to 15. 77-62 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. The Comets on top, timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball, the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
You don't want to fumble it away with these two events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops. For the big game, Valentine's Day, or anytime, remember Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time.
Timeout taken by Mayville State with 4:20 to play in the fourth quarter of basketball. Welcome back to Viking basketball on KOVC. The Vikings down 15 to Mayville State, 77-62. 4-point game at halftime. The Vikings have been able to get back to within 11 on a couple of occasions. Emma Nielsen's three comes up no good. Mertens the rebound for Mayville State. Comets on the run, and Mertens going to pull it out on the wing, and we'll see now Mayville State perhaps settling in to work on some shot clock and try to grind this one away. Mackenzie Hughes, Jordan's Russ still in the game. They're going to play a ton of minutes tonight. Hughes, top of the key for Jess Mertens. Mertens a stop off to Emma Pesa on the right side. Pesa back to the top of the key. It goes to the corner. Hughes on the way. Quick three that's off the heel of the rim. Rebound to Meredith Dumas for Valley City State. 3:40 to play and counting. Nielsen front court for Haley Roberts. Working right. Hard take into Dumas. Off the glass. Dumas gets it to go. Meredith Dumas getting inside and scoring her fifth. And the lead is cut to 13 at 77-64. A stop and a three, and you can maybe keep a heartbeat going in this one, but the Vikings need a stop right here. Mertens back out to the right side, finding her KA player, Mackenzie Hughes. Near side, Emma Pesa. Jab stepping towards the baseline, reverses to Decker. Shot clock at 10 and counting. Decker back to Pesa, left corner Mertens, head fake Drew defender. She steps in, drives, pulls up on a teardrop, rolls off. There's the stop. Adriana Torres with a rebound. Here come the Vikings, looking for perhaps a three to cut it to 10. There's the three by Richter, but it comes up short. And the rebound to Jess Mertens with under 3 minutes to play. Mertens spinning her way back up the floor, and Nielsen fronting her with some pretty physical play, and Mertens throwing a couple of forearms to keep her off. Decker, top of the key for Mackenzie Hughes. A stop, near side, Mertens looking down low to Pesa. Pesa takes a look, reverses back to Hughes. Hard take to the basket. Hughes got to the glass and draws a foul. Boy, again, that conversation that I had with Dennis Hutter before the game tonight about he and Mackenzie Hughes discussing the game, and Dennis Hutter saying, why did you take the three, go to the glass? That's all Mackenzie Hughes has done tonight, has gone to the glass, and it's paid dividends, 25 points. So Mackenzie Hughes is listening. She hit a three to start the game, and since then it has been all ground pound getting to the glass for her this evening. Lead is 13 as she shoots foul shots, and the first will give her 26 and push the lead to 14 at 78-64. Hughes back of the line for the next, and that one will give her 26 and holding, but Jess Mertens, an offensive rebound, and then Adriana Torres took it away, and the Vikings come away with the basketball. 78-64, Vikings into the front court. On top, it's Haley Roberts, and she lost handle of the basketball. Dribbles out of bounds. Allie Critchley will come back into the matchup. I think we've seen the full complement of regular rotation players we would typically see from the Vikings in a night, although just brief minutes for Madison Spacier. Spacier back on the bench right now, but we've seen just about everybody the Vikings typically get into a game, so they played through their full rotation. Jordan's Rust on top, right side to Hughes for the Comets, into the right corner. Jab step for Mertens, a stop, a look down lows. Rust backdoor cut off the glass, she'll score, and Jordan's Rust now has 22. 78-64 with 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Three by Torres, and it's so good to see Adriana Torres come out and perform tonight. 17 points for Adriana Torres. Vikings back within 11 at 78-67. Out on top, Decker, a look to the foul lines. Rust stepping left from 7 feet, got the open jumper, and now it's Rust with a big fourth quarter. That's 10 in the quarter, 24 for the game. She's trying to catch teammate Mackenzie Hughes for the scoring derby. Dieterle inside, fall away on the right block, that's missed, rebound deflected, and it's run down by C.J. Decker. The lead is 13 for the Comets, 15, 82-67, and the Comets are back into the front court. Decker right side. Mackenzie Hughes coming back towards the near. Comes left wing for Emma Pesa, and a foul against Taryn Dieterle trying to defend the ball against Pesa. That'll put Emma Pesa on the foul line. Dieterle second. Sydney Brecken in, and we'll see Taylor Dean for the Comets for the first time. Dean, a 5'5 junior out of Stanley, North Dakota, and Rust will sit down for maybe the first time tonight. Hughes will do so as well. There will be a ton of minutes between those two tonight. First foul shot is on the way, and it's good. Going to mark the time as well. 1:14 left, so we were 38-46 into the game when they both sat down. First foul shot is good for Emma Pesa. That will give her 4. Second foul shot will give her 5. The lead back to 17 at 84-67. The biggest it's been was 18 at 70-52. The Vikings got that back to 11. on a couple of occasions, but just could not turn the corner from there. Critchley out to Torres and a three. Good again for Adriana Torres. Torres, let's have a big last 6 games of the season and get into the tournament the right way. Torres with 8 in the quarter, 20 for the game now for Adriana Torres, and the lead is cut back to 14 at 84-70. 50 seconds to go. Whistle, foul coming up in the perimeter against Emma Nielsen. Nielsen with her third. That'll put Decker on the foul line for the Comets. Vikings trying to induce some misses. Double penalty here, so Mayville State will shoot both. And Decker at the line trying to push the lead back to 15-16 points. Decker's first is good. C.J. Decker with 4, all from the foul line tonight, an 82.9% foul shooter. When we get the final analysis of this one, the foul line is going to be a huge part of the equation. Right now, the Comets are 25 of 34 from the foul line. The second will not fall for C.J. Decker. Vikings up the floor, Johnson, Critchley, looking left corner. Emma Nielsen calling for it, takes a three, left it short. Mertens out in the lane, blocked by Ali Critchley. Critchley going to foul out of the game with a three-point shot tonight. And Madison Wilhelmy will come in to be her replacement. They have the Comets at 26 of 36 from the foul line. The Vikings are 8 of 12, so on your home floor, the Comets have made more than twice as many as you have attempted. First foul shot is on the way for Mertens and good. 11 points for Jess Mertens. It's just hard to explain that away. The Vikings went to the basket tonight, maybe not as much as they should have. Second foul shot is good. Mayville State made a living going to the basket tonight, and it's netted them the free throw opportunity. Lead 17 at 87-70. Inside Torres, little teardrop in the left hand, missed. Rebound deflected out of bounds. This goes back to the Comets, and the shot clock's turned off. And we'll see if the Vikings force Mayville State to do anything. It looks like the Comets are going to see full court pressure from the Vikings. So Vanessa Johnson trying to get her team to play to the final seconds. Mertens a stop-and-go dribble along the far sideline, stepping back out. I think the Comets are showing you that they really not do anything here, but the Vikings are going to foul with 17 seconds to go. Foul will go against Emma Nielsen, her fourth. The men's game is on the way. We'll come back with a brief wrap-up of this one, give you the scoring award or Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game award, and then a brief break in between games as Jess Mertens steps into a foul shot and scores her 13th. 11 in the second half for Jess Mertens tonight. She had just a horrible night shooting in the opening half. Didn't have a field goal, but she's adjusted and come back strong. Second foul shot won't fall. Rebound Torres and Madison Wilhelmy into the front court. Lead is 18. Torres another outside jump shot just inside the arc. Torres heating up, 22 with 10 in the fourth quarter. The lead cut to 16, and that appears to be what the final margin tonight will be. The Vikings will sag, the Comets will walk the ball into the front court, and your final score tonight on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard will be the Comets 88 and the Vikings 72. Mayville State grabs the win, sweeps the season series, and improves to 15-4, 7-1 in the North Star. The Vikings will fall to 11-10, 4-4 in North Star Athletic Association play. Post-game wrap-up and a look towards the men's matchup is next. This is Viking basketball on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
Did you know that January is National Bath Safety Month? Here are some ways to stay safe in your bathroom from Smith Lumber Home Center. Install non-slip mats in the bath. Add safety handles. Add lights. Install a step in the tub. Add ADA accessories. child-proof the bathroom, or maybe it's a new toilet. And Smith Lumber Home Center has all kinds of toilets, including soft close and bidet seats. Keep your home safe with Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City.
Welcome back to Viking basketball and the voice of the Vikings, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you tonight from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Game 1 will go to Mayville State. The Comets will improve to 15-4 in the league, or overall, 7-1 in the league, with a 88-72 win tonight over the Vikings. The Vikings will fall to 11-10 overall, 4-4 inside the league. Couple of big factors that go the way of Mayville State in this one tonight, as the Comets will end up 29 of 40 from the foul line. The Vikings will take just 12 foul shots. The Comets will take 40 tonight. That's a 21-point differential in a 16-point game. And so the Vikings really have to figure that part out. There's just no reason why you give up 40 foul shots on your home floor and gain only 12 to go your direction. Also, Mayville State took incredible care of the basketball tonight. Turned it over just 9 times compared to the Vikings' 19. And the win for the Comets will give them a season sweep of Valley City State, and it comes in a 7-day span from Saturday to Friday, where they win both games in that sequence. Individual numbers tonight: Mayville State led by Mackenzie Hughes, 26 points. A double-double for Jordan's Rust, as she will score 24 points and grab 12 rebounds tonight. 13 points, 6 boards for Jess Mertens, and 11 points, 3 rebounds for Aaron Walker this evening. Emma Pesa with 5, CJ Decker with 4, Kayla Rockel with 3, Sydney Brecken with 2. For the Vikings tonight, 22 points and 8 rebounds for Adriana Torres. She scored 10 in the fourth quarter. JC Richter, 12 points, 3 boards. Ashlyn Deemert, 11 points and 4 rebounds tonight. Taryn Dieterle very near a double-double, 9 points and 7 rebounds tonight for Valley City State's Taryn Dieterle. Also 9 points tonight for Haley Roberts. She grabbed a rebound. Meredith Dumas finishes with 5. Allie Critchley with 3. Madison Wilhelmy with a single. And again, your final score is 88-72. Our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award. Boy, this one's easy to find. Adriana Torres showing up when the Vikings need a big time second half finish for Adriana Torres. She was challenged. She responds. 10 points in the fourth quarter, 22 points for the game tonight, 8 rebounds as well. She was 10 of 12 at the field, hit 2 3-point shots. Adriana Torres for the Vikings will be our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award winner. Compliments of Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. And with that, we'll finish up our presentation of Viking women's basketball this evening. Up next, the Viking men, second time in a week as well against Mayville State. They had the Comets down 10 up in Mayville and could not turn the corner against Mayville State the last time around. Can they get it done this time? We'll find out coming up as we get ready for our second matchup, and we'll get our pregame started for that in about 10 minutes here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Our final score in women's play, the Comets 88, the Vikings 72. For Viking basketball and KOVC Sports, I'm Ryan Cunningham saying so long for just a bit.
Here is your Egg Central forecast from meteorologist Mick Kerr. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, chilly, down to 10 to 15 below zero. Wind chills 20 to 25 below zero. Northwest winds at around 5 to 15. For the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, partly to mostly sunny. That's the good news. Cold, that's the bad news. Single digits below for daytime highs and overnight lows from the upper teens below to maybe 20 below or more. For more weather, log on to newsdakota.com.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me. 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy.